The summer block party in Ashford, Massachusetts had always been the kind of gathering that felt effortless. Kids running wild across the grass, neighbors laughing over shared dishes, the warm pulse of community woven through every conversation. I spent most of the morning at the grill, trying to keep the energy around me light. It was easier to focus on sizzling burgers than on Clara, who'd been drifting further away from me with each passing week. Yet whenever we were around other people, she slipped into her polished, charismatic persona, the version of her that made everyone believe we were the perfect couple. But a few glasses of lemonade later, that mask cracked. She stood with the Fletchers and our new neighbor, Jason, a confident, magnetic guy who seemed to draw eyes without effort. I was turning burgers when her voice cut through the background noise. "You know, Owen," she said with a laugh that felt too sharp, "if there were a trade-in program for husbands, I might swap you for a newer model." People chuckled uncertainly, glancing between us. Clara tilted her chin toward Jason. Someone with some style. Maybe someone like him. She gave him a long look. Now that's husband material. The air shifted. A few people tried to laugh, but it sounded strained. My chest tightened. She had embarrassed me before, but never so openly. I forced a smile, so she wouldn't see how deeply it hit me. I'd learned that reacting only made her push harder. Jason, though, didn't laugh. He took a measured sip of his drink before saying quietly, "You might want to be careful, Clara. People who chase something shiny often find it has no substance." The conversation died instantly. Clara's smirk wavered, and she let out an awkward laugh. "It was just a joke." "Maybe it was," Jason replied calmly, "but jokes tend to show what we truly feel." Clara dropped her gaze. The tension hung thick long after people tried to move on. When the last guest finally left that night, silence filled the house. Clara fussed angrily around the kitchen, her hands shaking. "You didn't have to just stand there while he insulted me," she snapped, slamming a dish into the sink. I looked up, weary. "Insulted you? Clara, you humiliated me. What did you expect would happen?" "It was a joke." "You're too sensitive," she shot back. "No," I said, voice low. "You weren't joking. You said it to get a reaction. You always do." Her jaw clenched. "Jason overreacted." "I'm tired of pretending you're just being funny," I said. "You've been cutting me down for years." She glared at me, her pride bristling. "Maybe if you acted like someone worth showing off, I wouldn't need to make jokes." I stood, feeling something old and heavy shift inside me. "Your sarcasm isn't wit. It's cruelty. You confuse loyalty with weakness." Her expression faltered for a moment before she stormed down the hallway. The next morning was quiet. I buried myself in yard work, letting the fresh air keep my thoughts steady. Around noon, Jason walked up the driveway. "Need a hand with the fence?" he asked. We worked side by side before he finally spoke. "I hope I didn't make things worse. I just hated watching her talk to you like that." "You didn't make anything worse," I said. "You just said what no one else would." He nodded. "You deserve someone who treats you with respect." Hearing those words from a man I barely knew struck harder than I expected. It made me realize how long I'd been minimizing Clara's behavior. Later that evening, Clara stepped onto the porch, arms crossed. "People are talking about what happened," she said stiffly. "Maybe you finally heard yourself," I replied. Her eyes narrowed. "You're enjoying this, aren't you? Watching me feel embarrassed." "No," I said. "But I'm done being the target of your jokes. You've chipped away at me for years. Last night just made it obvious." She exhaled shakily. "People will forget." "Maybe," I said. "But it opened my eyes. And that's not something I can ignore." A troubled look crossed her face. For once, she wasn't defensive, just uncertain. "You and Jason both think I'm awful." "I didn't say that," I answered. "But you've lost sight of what it means to respect someone." She swallowed, eyes glossy. "I didn't mean to hurt you. You wanted attention," I said gently. "But attention fades. Respect lasts." That night, she slept in the guest room. The house felt both heavy and strangely lighter. I didn't know if she would change. I didn't know what would happen next. But for the first time in a long time, I felt my own spine straighten. Jason had been right. Respect isn't something you beg for. It's something you reclaim.